Now joined by Joe Salvino, the head coach for the Belle Vernon area Leopards boys basketball team. Back to the postseason in 4A. Coach, congratulations. Another very impressive regular season. What were some of the keys to your team's success this year?
Well, I think some of the keys were us being unselfish, and not saying we were selfish last year, but this year, like Devin played a role of trying to get people to basketball instead of concentrating on scoring so much. He did score when he felt that he needed to, but he likes to distribute the ball this year, and it seemed to work out fairly well. And of course, I mean, some of the other key ball players, Quentin Martin really did well for us this year as far as like rebounding and playing inside. But as a team, I thought everybody had played their role and did a good job.
Playing for a championship a couple of years ago, coming so close last year, what were some of the goals that your team had set heading into this year?
Well, first of all, we wanted to win the section because the WPIAL didn't award us the section championship last year, simply because they said we didn't play enough section games, and that was due to COVID. Winning the section was definitely a goal, and of course, then making the playoffs. And again, trying to get as far as we possibly can in the playoffs and hopefully get into the state playoffs and make a run at that. I'm hoping that these kids are driven to get to that WPIAL championship again.
Certainly your team is battle-tested. You had a very rigorous non-section schedule this season. What were some of the goals in that, and how did that maybe improve your team to this point?
Well, the Laurel Highlands game, was a big contest for us. Them having like the Shields and Gallagher and Davis. I mean, those three there are very good ball players, and Laurel Highlands is a very good team. And we competed well against them. And then, of course, we had Bishop Canavan, who's a number one Class A school, and they have a nice team. The Montour game was a little bit disappointing. We didn't have Quentin Martin, and Devin got hurt and didn't play in the second half. So that, as far as that, I mean, we competed in all those games, but losing to Montour was a little bit disappointing.
Well, you mentioned that loss to Montour. I would certainly think that probably factored into the seedings in the 4A bracket. So your team gets the number 3 seed. Now, the significance of that is that only 3 teams got a bye. So how important was it to still get that first round bye?
Well, I think it's important, but sometimes when you're off as long as we're going to be off, I mean, we're going to try to get a scrimmage. In fact, I could go to Fox Chapel. I just don't know if the players and myself want to drive all that way on a school bus. So we're going to have a scrimmage, and hopefully that breaks up some of the monotony of the long layoff. And hopefully we're it's more mental now than anything.
Talking to Joe Salvino, the head coach for the Belle Vernon area Leopards. Was the number 3 seed about what you anticipated it might be?
Oh, God, doing this for so long, and you just never know. When I thought 3 or 4. That's where I predicted us to be, either 3 or 4. And I'm glad we're 3 simply because we're on the opposite side of like Quaker Valley and Lincoln Park, and so that's a good thing.
So you get that bye, and then you will face the winner of number 6 Uniontown or number 11 Freeport. I know you're familiar with the Red Raiders, being in the same section of them. When you look at your potential opponents, what would be key?
Well, I think the key to us is our defense. If we're playing well enough defensively, we could play with any team. So I think a big key is going to be how our defense is playing. Some days the ball just won't go in a hole, but if you're playing well defensively, you create an offense right there by getting a lot of transition points. So I think that's a big key.
Coach, there's no doubt that Quentin Martin and Devin Whitlock have been outstanding players during their time. They're the headliners. Everyone talks about them, and they know them very well from football as well. But you're not going to make a run with just 2 players leading the way. Who else will be key? Who else has been key all season long for your squad?
Well, I think Daniel Gordon is another key ball player for us. I mean, he's he's a pretty good outside shooter, and he has had some pretty good games. And another kid is Alonzo Wade, has now become a starter. He was big in the Montour game. In fact, he was our leading scorer. So, you're right. Having two people just isn't enough. That's one of the reasons I thought we lost against Gold, because they had more than two people. But those people, like I said, Daniel Gordon and Alonzo Wade are going to have to, do a lot for us.
Joe, thank you so much for taking the time. Congratulations on a great regular season once again, and good luck heading into the postseason.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.